Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to Marco Plays Risk. Today we're watching my first game on the Younger Scrolls map. That's the name, the Younger Scrolls. I only today understood the reference to the Elder Scrolls after playing this map for like a week. So this game in particular was my first game on this map. And I played that a week ago. Oh, I just showed the settings right there. Wait, these are the continents. Settings. Okay, so there are no alliances, no fog, and no blizzards. 60 seconds per turn, 70% domination, ranked, progressive, and balanced dice. No rank restrictions. Yeah, and these are the continents. So this was my actual first game on this map, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And let's have a quick look at the continents because they do matter on this map quite a bit. One that is very interesting is Stoneloft in the top left corner of the map. This is a +3 for 4 territories. So this is kind of easy to take and hold. And you get a decent bonus for doing so. Then there is Sumrolm, which is a +5. This one is interesting because it is in the corner, which tends to be a good position. And this has 3 guard points. So if you look at Stoneloft, Stoneloft also has 3 guard points, but there's only a +3, whereas Sumrolm is +5. So if you're looking for guard point efficiency, Simrolm is pretty good. Then you got Helmfülner. What are these names? Which is +6. And this continent, though, is very difficult to take and to guard. And I don't really see anyone going for it. So this continent is pretty, what's the word? Pretty much not worth it. Then we have Cloud's Edge in the north. I see people going for this, even though it has 4 guard points, but it gives a +7. And that is really good. 9 territories, it's not too easy to take in the beginning, but if you can do it and you can hold on to it for a bit, then these +7 troops make a lot of difference. Then we got the center continent, Dulciro. I have never ever seen anyone hold on to this. And I don't even think I've seen that many people try to go for it, because there's just no way, not in progressive. In the south, we do have a Wooden Vale and a Swolsnir, both +5, both with 7 territories. And these are continents that you definitely can go for. They're not the best ones, and they're pretty hard to guard. But it definitely makes some sense to try and go for these. Swolsnir more so than Wooden Vale, because Swolsnir has a bit better guard points, not by much. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 here in Swolsnir, and Wooden Vale has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, that makes Swolsnir a bit easier to defend. But I find in games with blizzards, these 2 continents are much better than without. Then we have at the top right, Windmare. Don't really see anyone ever going for this. Like, not really committed. But it is a decent continent. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guard points, so on the higher end here, but it also gives a +6. I think the main problem with this continent is that it is next to Cloud's Edge, which is unreasonably strong compared to Windmire. So if someone's holding onto Cloud's Edge, they will have the upper hand over you. Which is also a problem for Stoneloft. So if you want Stoneloft, then you don't really have to guard against this one, Helmfilm, but you have to be worried about Simmerholm and Cloud's Edge, and you would be wise to try and keep anyone from taking either of these continents, because they will steamroll you. And then last we got Darkmire in the bottom right corner, which is a pretty strong continent. You have 3 guard points and a +4. It's not as strong as Simmerholm, but Darkmire is 1, easy to take. It has only 6 territories, and it gives you a decent bonus. So Stoneloft, Simmerholm, and Darkmire are kind of the best, I would say, continents generally. In Cloud's Edge, if you already have a very good position in the beginning of the game, then that's definitely worth going for. So that is what I know now about the game, about this map in particular. Back when I played this, I didn't know anything. So I take my time looking at the continents. And if I remember correctly, I already noticed, okay, Stoneloft seems to be quite good, and I have already 2 out of 4 territories in there. So it makes a lot of sense for me to go for it. And I also have these 3 and 2, which I can maybe use to reinforce Stoneloft. But I also have to be careful to not let anyone take Simmerholm or Cloud's Edge. But right now it already seems like green is going for Simmerholm. So that's going to be a challenge. We have 1 bot in this game, and the rest are players for now. So bots are very unpredictable. When they want to go for a continent, they go for it with all their might, even if it means running into your biggest stack and losing most of their troops in the process. They just value continents very highly. Yeah, white playing in the south in the 2 sister continents. I don't think they're going to hold any of them this game though. So I split here and do 2 attacks. And then I don't even guard. Yeah, it seems like I'm not guarding. I just pull together my troops and hope that neither yellow nor black will break me, which is a gamble. But you also see that black has a very strong presence down here. So the chances are, as I see it, more in the favor of black trying to open up their own position instead of going to break me right there, which is what we're seeing. So they almost have this continent right here. Not quite enough to take it though. On 70% domination, it's a little bit difficult to see. But, oh, excuse me. something in my throat. It does make sense to make multiple attacks sometimes. It really depends on the size of the map and the amount of players. Because if it's like possible for you to hold 12 or 15 territories, then you can get extra units, and then you don't have to hold onto a continent. And this is one of the maps where it's definitely possible to hold like 12 or 15 territories. But on the other hand, while you are holding these 12 to 15 territories, you will probably also hold any one continent. In fact, I think it's very hard to be at 12 territories without holding a continent, unless you're really spread out. But that's something to keep in mind. That really depends on the map, how much you want to attack. Green going for the islands, not being able to finish them, with kind of an unlucky roll there. So what I should do in this position, I think, since I now know that letting anyone hold this would be very bad for me, I should just put everything here and attack this 3, and then try and take these islands for myself. But I think in this game I took the more passive route, which I think is definitely a mistake. So instead I take the units that I have here and try to get my guard up. So I ran through 4 units for the +3 bonus. So I at least have to hold this for 2 turns. So I get my units back that I used. And I got more towards the bot, because the bot seems kind of aggressive here. Black has now finished this continent, Darkmire, and now they should put everything into defenses. So they got a 4 and 3, but this one is wide open. And I am the only one who has access to this. So it would be really on me to break that. But I also feel like that I'm so far away, like in general, most of my stuff is up here, that I don't really have to care about this. But I think I probably should. But then again, if I put too many troops here and try and break black, then green will have no trouble taking this. And I won't really have the troops necessary to break it. And I think I don't even do it in this game. I can't remember clearly, but I definitely should not let green hold on to this. Because what green would most likely do is just attack me, because they generate more units, so there's no reason for them to let me hold on to my continent. But I think that's also something that I learned like during the last week, that sometimes I'm just too passive and too friendly, where I think, okay, if I let my neighbors hold on to their continents, they should let me hold on to mine. But that's really not how it works like ever. Even with alliances, which is why I stopped playing with alliances. I used to always enable them, but there's really no point if people don't play like you are allied and break you anyway. So I open up a second position, which generally makes sense. So I'm harder to kill. But on this map, the continents are really, really important. Which at that point I didn't know yet, but now I am older and wiser. And now I know that I should have put everything here and stop green from getting all these extra units. Because most times people will just not play friendly. And if you're holding onto one of the weaker continents, you really have to break the continents that are stronger than yours very quickly. Otherwise, your continent will just practically do nothing, and you will get broken anyway. So we see the yellow bot going for this continent down here. And they may want to break into green at some point. But this turn, green will already generate like 10 units. Maybe 9. And have too strong a guard everywhere to be broken. So last turn was really my only window to do that. And I think that's gonna cost me. So blue is going for this northern continent, and they're doing it very patiently. So they make sure that they get a good guard on all the border territories, so they don't get broken and they get this bonus. And now what happens? I didn't break green because I was trying to be nice, and as a thank you, green is gonna break into me. Because why wouldn't they? Adolf Lanka, I don't like you. Because you don't play nice. And they take a very early match, which makes sense. Yeah, you see, just break me. Even though it would have probably made more sense to try and go for this, because I don't generate nearly as many troops as you, so you can guard there forever and I wouldn't be able to touch you really. But yeah, that is just how people play this game. What was I saying? Ah yeah, the early match. The early match makes sense when you are like in the first or second position. Because you will probably be one of the first people to take their match anyway. And yeah, having these couple extra units earlier may give you the advantage to hold onto a continent more strongly and then generate more troops in the process. And I find it also makes a lot of sense to try and go for these bonus territories, the ones that you use with your cards, and just generate this +2 that you get from them. Because then you practically are one match ahead. So if you take the 4, then you get the 6. Or if you have the 8, then you get the 10, if you know what I mean. And I find that makes a noticeable difference in the early game. In the late game, not so much, but definitely in the early game. And you will have noticed that I didn't go back to like retake this, because there's no way that green is not gonna break me again. So yeah, why bother? I would just lose units in the process. And I'd rather have this one as a buffer. So green cannot directly attack me with this 6. But yeah, now green is just out-generating me by far. And you can already see my position is super weak because of the continents. Blue is now holding on to this northern one very strongly. There's really no way to break this right now, not without a match. Black has held on to this one for most of the game, and yeah, has lots of troops thanks to that. And yeah, green on the islands also very strong now with the most units after holding this continent for 2 turns only. And yeah, that's basically why the continents are important on this map. And I have found that in most of my subsequent games also, that the players who hold a continent on this map are the ones who are most likely to win. Common knowledge in progressive is being spread out makes you hard to kill. In this map, it's not as true. There's still some truth to it, but it makes what really makes you hard to kill is having lots of troops. And at this point, green has the most troops, so they will be unkillable. And even if they didn't have these 3 territories, it would still be super hard for anyone to try and break into green or kill them even. So yeah, that's what I learned from this game. Now black has taken 1 more continent, which blue will probably break. And you notice we are not even that far into the game. The matches, we didn't even have the first round of matches and I'm almost dead. And I really could get killed by anyone at any point here. And I think it's pretty soon that I die. And the couple of units that I get from my first match won't save me. So yeah, blue I think does the correct thing and breaks all of black. This positioning though, I'm not sure about it. I mean, now this stack is locked in and can't attack anymore. Which, I mean, you want to have your stacks mobile to be able to make a kill. But I think since you get this +7, in this case, it's actually all right to have this stack as a purely defensive mechanism. But on the other hand, you only have a 5 here and a 4 here. So if you had a bit more balance, then I think it would be better. But yeah, black is also pretty close to dead now. I think black spread themselves very thin on the last turn, trying to be a bit too greedy. Instead, you probably should have held like a 3-point guard in these territories. And I think there would have been not much that blue could have done. So it's always a balance of how greedy can you be, how much territory can you take, and how much can you really guard. So now I get my 12, and even though I get one of the biggest matches, I'm still only at 32. So the only way that I could get back into this game is kill white. But I don't think that is possible, but I will try anyway, just hoping to get lucky. And I get that 13. And I really was hoping to get like one here with the 3, but yeah, I can't do it. So that was really my only way back into this game, getting another match and taking some territory in the process. But I think even if I had taken out white, I still would have lost this game. Although I may have been able with my second match to maybe kill yellow. But I mean, that would have been 15. So yeah, that wouldn't have worked. I really needed some very good rolls, which I didn't get. So yeah, sometimes the Hail Mary does not work. And now I basically fed white to the next player who can take him. Maybe black would have even been able to take white. Let's rewind. I want to count that. So black has 14. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 3 is 8. Would have been close. You always lose at least 1 unit per territory that you move through. And sometimes you just lose a unit to the dice. So that would have been 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So 9 would be the biggest stack that you have here. And there's a chance of 1/3 that you lose 1 unit when you take a 1. And these are 5 territories. So on average, you would lose 1 or 2 units. So you would end up here with an 8 or a 7. Maximum is 9. Average is 7 or 8. Probably an 8. Well, 7 or 8. But 7 or 8 would still be enough to kill the 3. And then you get the 3 cards and get the 15 match. And then black would have been able to kill yellow. And then get 5 cards another match, and then probably kill me, get another match, and then just win the game. So yeah, thinking about it more deeply, black could have won the game on that turn. And that's kind of the danger on maps where continents are kind of important. Because you have to think about like making kills also. There will come a point where taking back the continent is no longer the correct play, and instead you want to make a kill and win the game. And that right there was one of these times where making the kill was more important than taking the continent. Because as it stands now, there will be no next turn for black. Blue should just take yellow right here. Just breaking green along the way, which is a little bit greedy, but it works out. And now what do you do? Probably kill me, because I'm super weak. Or doesn't kill me. He wants to kill black now, huh? Seems like it. Blue is also very close to the 70%. So I don't think they even need to make a kill. No, they don't. Yeah. And that's the game. That was already the game. I didn't die. I thought I died that game, but I didn't, because we were playing on 70%. Yeah, so that was my very first game on this map. Of course, I made lots of mistakes along the way, but maybe you can learn from my mistakes like I did. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. So hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. Press like and subscribe and comment, and you know the drill. And I will see you in the next one.